Hello everyone and welcome to the Talladega Superspeedway for the running of the STP 300 here at Talladega. The third race in the chase, the 13th race of the season. Who will be able to win and throw themselves into the championship hunt today? Jacob Edson and Blake Maurice on row 1 during Pink Out Month. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in the month of October. And multiple drivers running those Pink Out trucks from both this and Iowa in support of breast cancer awareness. So with just a minute under before we get to the commands to fire the engines, we'll see who will be able to win today. Diego Yepes, your points leader, 4 points ahead of Blake Maurice. Blake starts second. Diego Yepes in 7th with Jacob Edson on pole. He is 18 points back. Zachary DeLello starting 8th. He is 19 points back. And Aiden Burkhart starting near the tail end of the field. He is 21 points back. That is your top 5. So who will win? 2.66 mile track. We'll go ahead down trackside to get the commands to fire the engines here at the biggest racetrack on the schedule, the Talladega Superspeedway.
Drivers, start your engines!
And as the engines are now fired, we are ready for 29 laps here at Talladega. Jacob Edson and Blake Maurice on row 1. And behind them, Matty Porta and ex-teammate Alex Kraft. The rest of the field rolling across your screen as you see all 31 drivers pulling out onto the big Talladega Superspeedway. Some interesting facts to note. Tony Green in his final NSDCA start for the final start for Impala Racing this season. BK Racing is also back with the 23 truck of Anderson Reed. The 02 of Colin Lindsay for Evernham is in the field, as well as the 59 of Logan Bradley, and the 81 is back with Caleb Henderson at the helm. Larry Hagan in that 41 truck, he is supporting prostate cancer awareness, just as his uncle had a while ago. He has those blue colors on his truck for both this and Iowa, looking to see if he can win today for him. And Matthew Eves looking to double down. You see that Xfinity 00 starting pretty far back in the pack, but it doesn't matter. It's Talladega. There's going to be a shuffle. Who will be able to win? You see also Gatlin Downey is in that number 30 for the racing group, and he is driving on behalf of Jones Racing, Inc. And there is your points leader, Diego Yepes, in that 8 truck. A lot of pink out trucks here. You see 4 right there. Ryan Butcher, Jacob Rose, Brady Burkhart even behind that. Zachary DeLello there as well. Carson Bowers. And all those pink out schemes here. We'll go ahead and go through the field so you can see what those pink out schemes look like for most of these drivers. It'll be a great day. 29 laps. 29 laps of hard racing here at Talladega. And now Jacob Edson. He is looking to go 2 for 2. Yesterday in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, Matthew Eves won the race from the pole, and it was a full cycle. He started the race on pole, dropped all the way back to the back of the pack, came back up, won the race. Can Jacob Edson do the same? You also have Blake Maurice. He is the big threat to Diego Yepes' championship right now. But don't forget Kalen Nosler starting back in the 31st position, the only driver to really beat Diego Yepes in a man-to-man race to the finish. Of course, that was the All-Star race and almost at the Nashville Superspeedway. Coming down the front straightaway, Jacob Edson leading us down with Blake Maurice on the outside. Matty Porta, Alex Kraft, Riley Spurley-Tube, Carson Bowers, your top 6. Coming down the front straightaway, it's going to be 29 green flag laps, and we are now racing. Green flag is in the air at the Talladega Superspeedway. Now they head into turn 1. Jacob Edson on the inside. Blake Maurice on the outside. He has a huge push, Blake does. But it doesn't matter. Jacob's going to move back down on that inside with that inside line as they go through turn number 2. Once for the first time up to speed. It takes about a lap for these guys to get up to speed at this long track with these restrictor plates. But Jacob Edson out in front leading them all. Spurley-Tube jives to the inside. Look at Ryan Butcher already trying to make it 4 wide. Possibly will make it 4 wide on Diego Yepes. Almost he does, but they go 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. And now Edson is now the new race leader. He is staying in that race lead. Diego Yepes gets back to the inside. He is now into the 3rd position, making moves towards the front. Jay Jefferson, Ryan Butcher as well, already going to get almost 4 wide. But Riley Spurley-Tube is going to be the one pushing Jacob Edson. And down the front straightaway they go. Jacob Edson leads lap number 1. Back into turn 1. Top 3 will now go about single file there. Now Jay Jefferson trying to bring that truck up as well with Ryan Butcher in front of him. Butcher clears Matty Porta and down the back straightaway. Top 5 now pulling out. Ryan Butcher is going to make a big 3 wide move to the inside. Edson remaining in the race lead down the back straightaway. Butcher No drafting help there, so he's going to have to tuck back in line. That's going to move Diego Yepes now back up into that second position. Monster Motorsports 1-2. Edson and Yepes, two drivers who could easily win this championship. Jacob Edson, though, he's had multiple races where he has been screwed over by the reliability. And he's also made some comments that he thinks Diego Yepes does not give him the same truck that he gives Diego himself. So Jacob, not very happy with Monster, but I think that win last week showed that Jacob is getting that race-winning equipment. 4 wide further back, 2 rows deep. You see Jacob Rose and Gatlin Downey on the outside. Johnny Zod, the championship contender, Aiden Burkhart, 2 chase contenders trapped very far back here in this 4 wide mix. Now Diego Yepes is the driver out in front. Matty Porta trying to push up right behind him. You see Larry Hagan. Now Nathan Stapleton joining that mix with Patrick Smith. And into the corner now Diego Yepes will maintain the race lead, pull it away from teammate Jacob Edson. Down the front straightaway, they're going to come off of the corner on to lap. I believe this is, yes, it will be lap number 4 this time by. Coming down the front straightaway they go. Everyone shuffling positions. Yepes was out in front for not for long, as now Matty Porta dives that 20 truck to the inside, and he's bringing some drivers with him. Blake Maurice in that PS4 number 11, he's pretty far back. Johnny Zod as well, still in that battle 4 wide, but now Matty Porta bringing the Jones Racing Inc. entry right to that inside, moving in for the race lead with Nathan Stapleton pushing him as the field stays 2 and 3 wide. The truck drivers, you'll see, these guys will give each other more room, or they should give each other more room. They will be cleaner. We saw in practice these guys weren't tearing up as many trucks as the Mountain Dew Custom Series guys were. It's because there is a lot of experience in this field. Over half of this field participated back in Mountain Dew Cup Series Season 1, the inaugural season of the NSDCA. They have the experience. They have the patience to race at these big tracks. They've ran Daytona for 3 years, and they ran Talladega last year without much issue. Now Matty Porta leads that lap, but Stapleton will be the one diving to his inside. Coming down now into turn number 1, we are 5 laps through this event, and still clean and green. Patrick Smith in that 75, he's moving up into 3rd. You see, this is his final start at Talladega, as only 3 weeks from now he will be retiring from the NSDCA. SSC Automotive will be sold off to a new team owner. The question is when who will auction for that equipment, because those Ford trucks are pretty valuable, especially with all the Ford teams in this field. Nathan Stapleton now down to the inside, as you see 3 by 3 further back. Couple trucks, Carson Bowers, Justin Knight going to go with each other down to the inside as Nathan Stapleton out in front. Yepes still hanging in on the outside line, but Stapleton will just edge Matty Porta out for that lap lead. These guys still side by side. Porta trying to make that outside line work. He could. Yepes is pushing him. You see Butcher and Jacob Edson now shoved to that outside line. It's Kalen Nosler, or Sebastian Kukulon, that's him in that 12 on the outside line, pushing his way towards the front. Matty Porta on the outside, that Freightliner Alpine Stars number 20, trying to make it work with those pink numbers. That's his pink out for the day. But Nathan Stapleton still on that inside. Each line pretty much running equally. You see Peter Onjek in that 44. He's moving himself towards the front. Colin Lindsay in that 02 also into the top 10. As they go through the tri-oval, Stapleton maintains the lead. Now Porta will not have drafting help. Yepes and Kukulon both shoved out 3 wide. Porta's going to go up, try to catch them. And you see that pack, no one really organized down the front straightaway. They go back 4 wide. Some contact between Jefferson and Riley Spurley-Tube further back there. So now Tony Green makes it 4 wide with Kalen Nosler, Aiden Burkhart, Jacob Rose on the inside. Spurley-Tube trying to keep off of all of them. Blake Maurice back here in that 11 truck. We're going to go on board with our visor cam driver. As you see, they are just 3 and 4 wide in front of them. Just a traffic jam. You have to be patient here to try to win this race, and he started second, has fallen all the way to the back as those guys battle in front of him. 3 and 4 wide, you wonder how stressful it must be inside that cockpit. Now down the front straightaway, 2, 3 wide. Still, Diego Yepes could be getting shoved 4 wide almost, but now Colin Lindsay in that 02. He's looking to lead a lap for Evernham Motorsports. That's what he will do. Now, Peter Onjak pushing him. Of course, the Dodges, not many in this field. TSR, Evernham, and Andrado, the only 3 Dodge teams. Right now, Peter Onjak making a move towards the race lead. if he can stay with his Dodge counterpart. No, Lindsay goes up the track. There's Caleb Henderson, finished 5th yesterday in his own equipment. Square D Automotive, of course, this 81 team is just a backup truck from Impala Racing. They got it at the beginning of the season. It's only running the super speedways. It's basically their R&D truck, but under a different owner. The 81 team trying to just keep the truck clean, make it to the end of the race. You see 3 and 4 wide still further back. Now Peter Onjak, he sits 51 points back. He's in 10th position in points. If he gets this lap led, there we go. That'll get him a bonus point. At least now he's pulling up a bit closer into that championship battle. If he does not gain anything on the points leader Diego Yepes or on any of these guys, he has to finish very strong right now, or even win the race for him to be a championship threat, as he's almost 2 races behind Diego Yepes. Colin Lindsay fights back on the inside or on the outside. Carson Bowers, you see Logan Bradley as well in that 59 truck, pushing these guys up. There's Blake Maurice. He's all the way up to the 7th position already. But Peter Onjak trying to maintain this race lead in his pink out Pennington Dodge. Carson Bowers right up behind him, and you see the field coming off of the corner, 3 by 3 further back, 2 wide up front. And now Carson Bowers ducks all the way to the inside. Anderson Reed goes down. Edson tries to block him, and Edson, I do not believe, got it. But now Bowers drag raced the line with Peter Onjak. Both of those drivers pretty far behind Diego Yepes. They both maintain some laps led. And now Peter gets shuffled all the way up by Logan Bradley and Blake Maurice. Blake now diving to the inside. He needs some bonus points, because if he finishes ahead of Diego Yepes by just 4 points, he'll take that points lead. That's big right there. The championship could be made, can't be won here. Championship cannot be won at Talladega, but it sure can be lost. If you get taken out in a crash, if you spin yourself around, if you get just caught up in someone else's business, your championship could go up in smoke. And that is what it looks like for Carson Bowers, Peter Onjak, Ryan Butcher, and Jay Jefferson. All of them over a race back at this point. They need to finish strong for them to be championship threats. Now Blake Maurice out in front. He's going to get himself a bonus point right there. That's going to be good for his championship hunt. So now he goes through the corner, but Brady Burkhart diving to the inside in that 99. Can Brady go up here and try to win this race side by side with Blake Maurice? Ryan Butcher all the way to the inside in the 01 car, or in the 01 truck. Now he is going to get some momentum from Gatlin Downey. Jacob Edson moving himself back up. Brady has no help on that inside line. He's losing a lot of draft. Blake trying to clear him on the outside, just nothing there. And now Jacob Edson, he falls back in line. There's Larry Hagan in that 41. As we said, the blue ribbon on this for prostate cancer in the 41 truck. As you see 3 by 3, 3 abreast further back. That's the most dangerous. If there's going to be a crash, someone makes it 4 wide. They can work 4 wide, but not for long. Down the front straightaway, Brady Burkhart will take that lap lead. And now, as we said, 4 wide won't work. And now, Hagan and Jefferson around in front of the field. Carson Bowers is in it. Peter Onjak's in it. Back down the track into Kalen Nosler. Colin Lindsay as well. Johnny Zod might have got a piece of it, but Peter Onjak's day, that looks like his championship hopes will be gone as his truck is destroyed. Brady Burkhart trying to lead us back. Blake is trying to get down in front of Butcher. It's not going to happen. It looks like Brady will be the one to lead us back, but a heavy crash there. Larry Hagan and Jay Jefferson make it 4 wide, and it ends up taking both Jay and Peter Onjak out of this event, and possibly just takes Peter's championship hopes up in smoke. We'll go ahead, coming around. Brady Burkhart leads us back around. A lot of trucks just racing their way back. Diego Yepes got through it cleanly. So did Zachary DeLello, Jacob Edson. But Peter Onjak's day, it looks like his day will be done. We'll go ahead and take a replay of what happened there. But Peter now, I think this will be the end of his day. You see Jay Jefferson as well. So Peter and his championship hopes will be gone just about right there. You see heavy front end damage to the 44. Maybe they'll try to repair it, get it back out, because if they can just tear the hood off of that thing, they should be able to get back out. But coming around, he will pull into his pit box. We'll go ahead and take a quick replay of what happened here to Peter. In the first caution of the day at Talladega, the big one happens. Peter Onjak retires it. So that will be the end of the day for the 44 team, and possibly the end of the championship for Onjado. Brady Burkhart will be leading us back around. Ryan Butcher, Blake Maurice, Gatlin Downey, and Anderson Reed, your top 5. We'll go ahead and take those replays. Get you guys back to the action here at Talladega in just a few minutes. Coming through the tri-oval, Jay Jefferson, you see he makes a move 4 wide. So he's going to go 4 wide, and just as we were saying, Edson and Hagan bounce off of each other, and they're just going to snap around. Carson Bowers gets in it, nowhere for Peter to go, and the outside line pretty much just collapses in on itself. Matty Porta, Kalen Nosler, Colin Lindsay, as well as Jay Jefferson, Tony Green, Peter Onjak getting damaged. Go ahead and take a few onboards here, but that will spell trouble and disaster for multiple drivers here in this race pretty early on. On the Pennington onboard here, and there is just nowhere for them to go. 4 wide, they're getting aggressive. Jefferson wants to get up to the front, and there's just no room. You see they're just going to spin around. Nowhere for Peter to go. He slows down, but he really was just getting run over in the back as well. Heavy damage to the 44, and that's going to be the end of his day and the end of his championship. Hopes Peter Onjak will end this race in the 31st position. Go ahead and get one more angle of this crash. And we are under caution for the big one here pretty early on. Here on lap 13 to 29, Jay Jefferson, Larry Hagan get together, and it ends up taking out Peter Onjak, Colin Lindsay, and more. So we'll go ahead and get you guys back to the green flag here after this commercial break. We'll see what happens after this restart here at the STP 300 at Talladega.
For years, I've been telling you about Pennington Seed's wildlife forage products. From Rackmaster to Durana Clover, Pennington has the #1 selling seed products in the industry for a reason. They create the highest quality, most water-efficient products available. Pennington's variety of mixtures produces high-quality, high-protein, and high-yielding forage for deer, turkey, and all species of wildlife. Remember, better research, better seed, better wildlife results, and that always means Pennington. Go online at penningtonseed.com to locate a dealer near you.
Back live at Talladega, lights on the pace truck do go out. So the field just pacing around one more time before we go back green. It is Brady Burkhardt out in front with Ryan Butcher in the 2nd position. Blake Maurice in the 3rd position with Gatlin Downey in 4th and Anderson Reed in 5th. Logan Bradley will line up 6th with Jacob Edson 7th. Paul Jackson 8th. Larry Hagan 9th and Sebastian Kukulon in 10th. Diego Yepes in 11th. Justin Knight 12th. Riley Spurley 13th, Matthew Eves 14th, and Carter Friesen 15th. Jacob Rose 16th, Caleb Henderson 17th, Patrick Smith 18th, Aiden Burkhart 19th, Stapleton 20th. Then it goes Kraft, DeLello, Zod, Morris, Green, Porta, Lindsay, Jefferson, and Bowers. 29 trucks left in this field. Kalen Nosler and Peter Onjak both retire from this race. They will finish 30th and 31st. We will have 13 laps to go this time by. 13 to go was when we had that first crash in the Mountain Dew Custom Series and when we went back green on lap 6 of 19. Now, if this follows the Mountain Dew Custom Series rule of the racing, we should see another crash about 3 laps where we'd go back to green with about 6 laps to go. We have 13 laps to go. Chase contenders spread all throughout the field and drivers just looking to win a race mixed in with them. It'll be a crazy final 13 laps to see who will be able to win here in the STP 300 coming around. Out of turn number 4, we still have just a long pace lap left. A lot of these drivers have to get down and around. Got to get past a lot of drivers. Now, into the restart zone. Of course, that is on the middle of the front stretch. As the start-finish line here at Talladega is located more near turn 1. Coming down the front straightaway into the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We're racing for just 13 more laps here at Talladega. We are back green at the 2.66 mile super speedway down into turn 1. Brady Burkhardt got a very big jump as they go. Single file further back, 3 wide. Blake Maurice already getting shuffled out by Gatlin Downey and Anderson Reed. Blake, that'd be a bit of anger there for 2 drivers who are just trying to scrape their trucks by. But now Anderson Reed, you know, he is an aggressive driver. He drove that Onge Auto car into the race lead yesterday in the Mountain Dew Custom Series. Anderson Reed in that 23 truck, he also won at Daytona in the Mountain Dew Custom Series right off the bat at the beginning of the season. He is a big threat at super speedways, and he is not going to be a Trevor Bayne of the series. He won at Pocono last week. The Mountain Dew Custom Series as well. Jacob Edson diving to the inside. He has teammate Paul Jackson behind him. Not for long. Sebastian Kukulon moving his way up. And look at Kukulon killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Pushes Yepes into the middle line as well. Going through the tri-oval. Yepes dives down to the inside. 4 wide once again with Hagan. Again, will Hagan take out more drivers getting shoved 4 wide? As Gatlin Downey gets shuffled up all the way to the outside. Ryan Butcher now putting himself 3 wide as well. Further back, you see the single file trucks. But Jacob Edson out in front. There's Colin Lindsay, Carson Bowers, Jay Jefferson, Matty Porta, and Tony Green trying to maintain the draft with this front pack. You see 3 by 3 further back. Blake Maurice now being shoved up by Larry Hagan. But through the corner, Sebastian Kukulon trying to bring his number 12 into that race lead for Red Bull Motorsports. Monster sits right behind them. There's Pedal to Metal Racing and Carter Friesen further back. Jacob Rose now shuffling. There you see Caleb Henderson now. He touches Justin Knight further back. This 4 wide mix, this is the dangerous part of the track to go 4 wide down this front straightaway into turn number 1 where they get so tight, so close. Henderson and Knight touch. Back into the wall goes Patrick Smith. Brady Burkhardt's in it. This might be the big one. Jay Jefferson piles into Patrick Smith. Brady Burkhardt is in it. And on the inside, Colin Lindsay destroys Larry Hagan. Huge crash here on the bottom. Paul Jackson ends on his side. Ryan Butcher, Jay Jefferson, they keep spinning. Aiden Burkhardt's in it as well. And Diego Yepes laughing at the front of the pack, looking like he could take the race lead here at Talladega coming out of the corner. And Jacob Rose pushing him, coming down the front straightaway. Will bring it back to the caution flag. Huge hit there. Colin Lindsay destroys Larry Hagan, but coming back to the line, Diego Yepes will be the driver to lead us back around. Monster Motorsports' Superspeedway dominance continues. Jay Jefferson's truck now destroyed. Ryan Butcher as well. 2 drivers who have had trouble all playoffs long. Also Justin Knight, Alex Kraft, Larry Hagan, Colin Lindsay. You see the damage just destroyed 02 truck. Paul Jackson as well. Aiden Burkhardt has damage. Brady has some damage. So does Gatlin Downey. And we have like no trucks left here at Talladega, but some wild, wild hits. We will go ahead and take you guys back and take a couple replays of that as everyone's going to pace around. We'll probably go back green, as I said, with about 6 or 7 to go. And we'll go ahead and get ready to go back green. So as the drivers come around to make their pace laps, get back into line, go and see what caused this big one here in turn number 1 once again. We'll slow it down getting into the corner. Knight and Henderson make contact. Henderson gets sent down into Patrick Smith, back up the track. Paul Jackson just gets hit at the end. Brady Burkhardt nowhere to go. Caleb Henderson's going to just sneak on through it. Patrick Smith involved. Justin Knight there as well. Larry Hagan is now getting turned by Gatlin Downey further back. Let's see if we can get to Hagan. There's Hagan spinning. Patrick Smith into the wall. Ryan Butcher nowhere to go. Jay Jefferson goes right up and pile drives into the side of Patrick Smith. Had nowhere to go. Patrick has gotten out of his truck already. Jay Jefferson, heavy front end damage. But here comes Colin Lindsay. And thank God this was in the passenger rear side. He destroys that 41, sends him flying into Jay Jefferson, lands it on top of Paul Jackson. Both him and Jefferson go flipping down the banking, and Larry ends on the back of Paul Jackson, while Jay Jefferson lands, I think, on the back of Justin Knight until they spin around. Then Ryan Butcher comes on in and finishes off Paul Jackson there and knocks Paul Jackson upside down. So we have a lot of angles to go as the race is under red flag conditions. Got a few angles of this. On board with Jay Jefferson, Paul Jackson, and Larry Hagan. So on board with Larry here. In the prostate cancer number 41, you see those Chevys are just going to get into each other up there. And there's going to be nowhere to go. It just snaps around. They hit the wall. Larry gets sent up the track, spinning. Now down to the bottom. Colin Lindsay trying to get through it and just does not have enough time. Ends up going once over. Lands on top of Jay Jefferson and Paul Jackson. Then Paul just gets nailed. So we'll go on board now with Paul Jackson, but heavy carnage for all drivers. Out the rear bumper cam of Paul Jackson, and you see right behind him is where they are 4 wide. He is just going to get clipped at the end of this, but you see they just head right into the wall. Hard hit for him. He's going to slide back down, getting hit by multiple trucks. Great job by everyone else getting through. And now as they come down, they're going to be flipping. There is Larry Hagan landing on top of them. And then boom, right in the side of the car. Paul Jackson lands on his side. So that is the end of the day for him. And we'll get one more angle of this on the regular time. Get you guys back to the green flag here for the final laps of the STP 300. What happened after this crash? Alex Kraft and Nathan Stapleton get together. Kraft goes head on into that inside wall. And we don't have a good camera angle of this, but Aiden Burkhardt just comes on down and just runs into the back of Kraft. So that's his day done. A lot of trucks damaged there. We'll get you guys back to the green flag after this one last angle of the crash. So we're under caution here, and we'll bring you guys back to the green flag after this very hard crash for a lot of drivers. Multiple trucks being damaged. Not many left. Jay Jefferson getting a heavy hit. Larry Hagan also gets nailed. And Paul Jackson ends up getting flipped on his side by Ryan Butcher. So a lot of trucks, a lot of chase contenders taken out on this. Go ahead and get you guys back to the green flag here at Talladega.
Sometimes the best craftsman isn't a man at all. It's a mother. Only the harshest elements could make a rye whiskey this smooth. Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye, the world whiskey of the year.
Lights on the pace truck have gone out, and as they come down the back straightaway, you see we will go back green with just about 6 laps to go. So this race is following the same thing as the Mountain Dew Custom Series race. All these drivers still left in it, but we only have 21 left in the race. Patrick Smith, as well as Paul Jackson, Larry Hagan, Ryan Butcher, Aiden Burkhart, Alex Kraft, Jay Jefferson, and Colin Lindsay have retired. 21 trucks left in this field. 21 drivers still can win it. However, multiple drivers with damage coming on around. We will only have 6 laps to go. A caution within 4 to go ends the race. So that is what everyone's going to be racing back for. The top 5, all those pink out trucks, but only in the top 5, 2 of them are chase contenders. The chase contenders sit like this. Diego Yepes in first with Jacob Edson 4th. Back in 8th is Zachary DeLello 9th, Johnny Zott in 10th, Blake Maurice. In the 19th position is Carson Bowers, and that is your final one, with Peter Onjak ending this race in 30th, Jay Jefferson ending in 28th, Aiden Burkhart ending in 26th, Ryan Butcher ending in the 25th position. Paul Jackson, not a chase contender, my bad. Coming on around, Diego Yepes, Sebastian Kukulon, and Jacob Rose will be leading us back to the race lead. Coming on down, green flag is back in the air for probably the final time back in the air here at Talladega. Everyone piling up. Nathan Stapleton's truck's slow, but as they go into the corner, we don't have many trucks left in this field. Sebastian Kukulon's there, Jacob Edson, Brandon Morris a bit slow, but coming through the corner they go. You'll see. These guys all should be good on fuel to the end. There was no need for pit stops in this race. The Superspeedway, as always, they make sure the fuel tanks are huge. Sebastian Kukulon with the momentum. Brandon Morris getting the push from Carter Friesen on the inside line. And now Sebastian Kukulon. He's never won in the NSDCA. He wants to go for this race win. Brandon Morris, Anderson Reed, Zachary DeLello, Blake Maurice also behind him. Coming around, it will only be 5 laps to go here at Talladega. We're just 5 minutes away. Green flag deciding from crowning a race victor of the STP 300. Anderson Reed with the big push on the inside. He will take the race lead away from Sebastian Kukulon and Brandon Morris. And now they're going to go 4 wide again. Brandon Morris down to the apron. Gets back up. He makes the move for the race lead around Anderson Reed with Zachary DeLello closing in behind him. Blake Maurice all over the back of him, down the back straight away. What a save that was by Brandon. It almost took out everyone. But now Blake Maurice looking to the inside in that 11 truck. He's trying to push Brandon to that race lead. What a move that was by that 6 driver. If he wins that race, that is definitely the move of the year for that team if he could stay up there and win it. But I think, if anything, Blake would be the one to move him out of the way. Tony Green now. Johnny Zott dives all the way to the inside of Blake. Diego Yepes getting shuffled out all the way to that outside line. He's getting shuffled to the back. But now Brandon Morris, they have 4 laps to go before they decide the victor here at Talladega. And they go 4 wide again. Tony Green almost moved all the way out of this race win by Matthew Eves. But there you see Matthew Eves trying to sweep the weekend here at Talladega. Brandon Morris out in front. His Alliance partner, the Alliance Partners team. There's Logan Bradley further back, the Onch Auto driver, just trying to survive this race. Caleb Henderson, that 81, now starting to drop back on the outside as Johnny Zott trying to win his first career race, make his move to the race lead. You also see Tony Green. He's never won at Talladega. His only career win came at Daytona back in Season 1 of the Mountain Dew Custom Series. Can he win this race for Impala? Get them that $250 cash prize, just about. And now he's on the inside. Matthew Eves is there. Johnny Zott now pulling away into the race lead. He is a championship contender, looking to throw himself into the championship hunt. Tony Green on the inside of him. Matthew Eves now dives all the way to the inside, and Jacob Edson makes it 4 wide. Almost 4 wide. Riley Spurleytube just tucking in on that inside line. Tony Green in that 07, can he push them up to the front? Diego Yepes still stuck on that outside line. And Tony Green trying to win this race for Impala. We have 3 laps to go with Talladega. Down the back straightaway once again. Tony Green has Matthew Eves all over the back of him. They've gone 2 by 2 now. Up front, it looks like they're trying to all make it to the end of this race because all of them are still inside this top 15, which would pay a lot of money for each of these trucks compared to getting them crashed. Nathan Stapleton down the front straightaway. He's very slow. Will they catch him? They will not catch Carson Bowers, Justin Knight, Gatlin Downey, Logan Bradley, Brady Burkhart. Those guys I think are safe, but it is Nathan Stapleton. He's only going through turns 1 and 2 right now, and he is very slow. 189 compared to 150, so they're catching him by 30 miles an hour. Coming around 2 laps to go here at Talladega, just over 2 minutes away from crowning a victor. Johnny Zod out in front. You see, it is still Matthew Eves in second. Riley Spurleytube trying to win for Texas Star Racing. Anderson Reed is still in the hunt. Down the back straightaway they go. Anderson jumps to the inside. Tony Green's losing it on the outside line. There is Edson and Zachary DeLello. Cars are all spreading out. Matthew Eves has no help on the outside line. We're going to be coming to the white flag here at Talladega. Stapleton's going through the tri-oval. These guys will catch him on the last lap. That'll be the deciding factor on who will win this race. Johnny Zod on the outside. Now Riley Spurleytube jumping to the inside. Coming to the white flag here at Dega. Spurleytube takes the lead. And there is Nathan Stapleton. Where will they go? Who will have the room to get around him? This will decide the race. Spurleytube can't get by. Johnny Zod blows past Stapleton. That could be the race win right there. Stapleton holds everyone up. And I mean everyone. Zod is gone. Down the back straightaway he goes. And he has left those guys behind. Spurleytube, Edson, now DeLello, and look at Diego Yepes being pushed up. Stapleton is getting black flag now for just holding everyone up, and that could be a penalty or even a suspension for that 70 team. But down the front straightaway, no one's going to be able to catch him. Johnny Zod, he used the lap car of Nathan Stapleton as a pick, and he will come across the line to win. Johnny Zod, your winner at Talladega. Nathan Stapleton destroys everyone. Matthew Eves from 3rd to 15th. Nathan Stapleton is being called to the NASCAR hauler. He has no business being out there 150 miles per hour down. But it is Johnny Zod finally picking up Hype Monkey's first win since its creation back in Season 2. Johnny Zod pulls the upset, and this will shake up the point standings. Diego Yepes still comes home in that 6th position. Blake Marie 7th, so the championship hunt is still strong between them. Jacob Edson and Zachary DeLello, they are 3rd and 4th in points. They gain a lot. Aiden Burkhart drops back. Johnny Zod with that win will give him a lot. But Carson Bowers, Jay Jefferson, Ryan Butcher, Peter Onjek, Aiden Burkhart, 5 chase contenders out of this race. That's big, but it is Johnny Zod picking up the win, his first career win in the NSDCA. Thank you guys so much for watching a wild finish to the end of Talladega. Johnny Zod, your race winner, and we thank you. The Pink Out week starts out strong with a lot of trucks going home, a lot of trucks damaged, but we end up with Johnny Zod, your race winner. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week for race 14, week 14 at Iowa, closing in on the end of the season for everyone. See you guys next time.